Narrator voiceover. Providence Municipal Court, Wednesday morning. The courtroom was filled with people, each carrying their own story, their own burden. And then she walked in, a young woman holding a baby barely 3 weeks old. Her name was Sarah Mitchell. Her face was pale, her eyes red from sleepless nights. She wasn't just another defendant. She was a mother in mourning. Cut to Judge Caprio looking up from his papers. Judge Frank Caprio greeted her with warmth. "Good morning, Mrs. Mitchell. My, what a beautiful baby." Sarah smiled faintly. "Thank you, Your Honor. His name is Noah." But what brought Sarah to court that morning wasn't joy. It was a $100 parking ticket, issued outside Providence Memorial Hospital. A simple violation on paper. But behind it lay a heartbreaking story. Pause. Emotional piano continues softly. When the judge asked why she had parked in the emergency zone, Sarah took a deep breath, rocking her baby in her arms. Her voice trembled. "Your Honor, that day was my husband's funeral." The courtroom fell silent. Sarah explained how her husband, Michael, a construction worker, had died in an accident just 2 days before Noah was born. The stress had sent her into early labor. Now, only weeks later, Noah had developed jaundice, and when the hospital called her in urgently, she panicked. "There was nowhere to park," she said, fighting tears. He was crying, burning with fever. "I parked in front of the emergency entrance and ran inside." Cut to slow motion of people listening intently, the judge silent. Judge Caprio listened quietly. He didn't interrupt. He didn't look at the clock. He simply listened. In the back row, a nurse named Martha, still in her hospital scrubs, stepped forward to help Sarah prepare a bottle for Noah. That small act of kindness filled the courtroom with warmth. For a brief moment, the walls of law and order gave way to pure humanity. Just then, a court officer handed the judge a report. It confirmed what Sarah had said. Her husband's death had been caused by unsafe working conditions. Judge Caprio looked up, deeply moved. "Mrs. Mitchell," he said softly, "life has dealt you a very heavy hand. I'm truly sorry for your loss." He paused and continued, "You are fighting battles no one should face alone. But I want you to know you are not alone." The courtroom was silent as Judge Caprio made his ruling. He picked up his pen, then set it down again. "I'm dismissing this case," he said. "None of the burdens you face require me to add another." Tears streamed down Sarah's face. "Thank you, Your Honor," she whispered. But Judge Caprio wasn't finished. He told her that local aid organizations would reach out to help her, that she had rights regarding her husband's accident, and that the court's community team would check on her. Then, in a rare moment, he stood up from the bench, walked over to her, and gently touched baby Noah's tiny hand. "Life gave you a difficult start, little man," he said softly, "but you have a very special mother." The courtroom erupted into applause. It was more than a verdict. It was a moment of mercy. Soft music swells, fade to next scene. Weeks later, Judge Caprio received a letter. Inside was a photo of Noah sleeping peacefully, and a note from Sarah. "Dear Judge Caprio, the kindness you showed me that day reached me when I needed it most. Thanks to the organizations your court connected me with, Noah and I are safe. I joined a widow support group and filed a case for Michael's accident. We now have hope again. I've learned that justice lives not only in laws, but in people's hearts." Judge Caprio smiled and placed a photo in his drawer. Transition, 1 year later. In front of Providence Municipal Court, a new initiative was launched. The Sarah and Noah Project, a program that helps parents who park in hospital emergency zones during true emergencies. At the ceremony, Sarah stood on stage, holding Noah, now taking his first steps. "Thank you, Judge Caprio," she said. "That day, I found not judgment but compassion. This project is my husband's legacy and my son's future." Judge Caprio replied with a gentle smile, "And now, you're giving the same mercy you once received. That's true justice." Music swells. Montage of Providence City. Sarah walking with Noah. Narrator voiceover. In a world where justice can feel cold and distant, one act of kindness can change everything. Because sometimes the greatest verdicts aren't written in law books. but in the hearts of those who choose compassion. Fade out with logo, the verdict room,